Today we're going to talk about some absolute key examples to be the leader. The first example we're going to talk about is the power of growth, and then the second one will be the value of delaying judgment. All right. So this first leadership story is the one that surprised me most. It was a big gamble at the time and definitely worked out better than I expected. One day I was having a one-on-one with a employee and they told me that they had a new career goal. Suddenly, they wanted to head in a very different direction. Instead of doing business development, their current role, they wanted to become a product manager. Now, this news was surprising and concerning for a few reasons. Number one, they were very good at business development. Number two, we needed the revenue and partnerships they built in this role. Number three, we didn't have any product management work available for them. So it comes down to this. They were also one of our best people. So we did not want to lose him. However, it was clear they had given it a lot of thought. They had good reason for the change and were determined to do whatever it took, whether we supported them or not. Okay, the gamble was this. Rather than try to convince them they shouldn't pursue their passion, I decided to embrace it. I told them that if they kept doing a great job in their business development work, I would help them learn how to become a product manager. At the time, I was afraid that with their change of interest, they'd start checking out of their current role. I worried that any encouragement I gave on product management will take away from the critical work we needed. How wrong I was. They actually did their best work after this conversation. For the next 18 months, they did their best work ever. And all I had to do was some very simple, low cost ways to support their learning. Number one, we bought them the best books on product management to read. Number two, once a month we met to discuss anything they wanted to about product management, which also helped me see their progress in building their skills. Number three, I introduced them to other good product managers I knew to learn from them too. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is, simply I was going to lose this team member whether I helped them out or not. However, because I helped them, they helped me by working hard while they used their time to learn and build the skills for their change. Most of your team members or employees will want to grow in ways that align with their current job or a promotion they want. As a manager, supporting them often takes you very little time and can really pay off in their morale and motivation. Why it works. Study after study shows that the number one perk people want at work is growth and development. As just one example, here's the research of a study reported in Mary Meeker's Internet Trends Report. As I learned, every small effort can mean a lot to your people. Even better, when you can align it to their work, it helps to retain them long term. All right. So, if you really encourage the power of growth with your current employees or staff, that's what really will help your company do the grow, scale, and win. Okay. Now we're going to roll into the second example, which is the value of delaying judgment. So, in our second example of leadership skills, we're going to talk about a case study from Richard Branson, okay, the CEO of Virgin Brands, and the value of delaying judgment. Okay, one of the most important skills any leader can learn is when to be decisive and when to take a step back and look at the wider picture before making the big calls. In times of turmoil, excitement, rapid growth, or crisis, there will be more decisions to make than usual and less time to make them. There will also be an almost irresistible temptation to make these decisions as quickly as possible. A leader must be calm, confident in his choices or her choices, visible to his or her team and their customers, and in control of the situation 100% of the time. However, this doesn't mean rushing into and jumping to rash conclusions before knowing all the facts. I recently read a story about the businessman Stephen Covey's lasting lessons. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. He tells the sweet tale of a little girl holding two apples. Her mom comes in and asks her for one of the apples. The girl looks up at her mom and takes a bite of one of the apples, then the other. The mom looks disappointed at her daughter's selfishness. Then the little girl gives one of her bitten apples to her mom and says, "Mom, here you are. This is the sweeter one. Even when we think we know all of the facts and figures and have viewed every angle of a given scenario, the truth about a situation can be very surprising. This is one of the things that makes life so exciting. Just when we think we understand something, we learn something new. This is why delaying judgment can be so useful in business. There have been many occasions when I have been tempted to make a snap decision and decided to wait until I can see the whole picture more clearly. These delays can mean missing the odd opportunity. One example that springs to mind is to buy the rights to a new game called Trivial Pursuit. But for every missed opening, there have been several averted disasters. There is a growing over-reliance on using statistics as an alternative to using judgment. While facts and figures are extremely useful, data analysis shouldn't solely drive every decision. The advertising guru David Ogilvy, reliance on statistics over judgment. They're coming to rely too much on research, and they use it as a drunkard uses a lamppost for support rather than for illumination. One vital component of decision making that is often overlooked is quite contemplated. After looking at all the stats, speaking to all the experts, and analyzing all the angles, then taking some time to yourself to think things through clearly. Take a walk, find a shady spot, or simply sit and think for a while. Don't delay unnecessarily, but don't rush either. Get that balance right, and you are far more likely to make the right call. So, taking these two examples of different leadership approaches. One in how to really use the power of growth, and number two, the value of delaying judgment can really help you in your company to shape the culture as a leader, and at the end of the day, help your company grow, scale, and win.